Yep, you can see we just got no material left on this synchronizer. See if I can, oh, that one's real. That's no good. Oh yeah, I think we got a winner here. Usually transmission comes in together, but this one came in pieces and then in pieces. So pretty much I can rebuild your T5 as long as you bring me a good core. This is a good example of a bad core. Can't use the main shaft, can't use the gears. I mean, most of the time I replace the gears. Can't use the sliders. Probably could if they're good, but it's gonna take a lot of effort to take all this off because this all failed on the front. It's gonna give me a hard time pulling this off. We got a crack in the case. I mean, all signs are pointing to finding a new core. And if you bring me a core like this, you're gonna have to find another one. It's that simple. Unless you have the exact parts on a shelf that I need, you know, this is no good. Definitely looking at a whole new gear set here. Cluster gear is damaged. Obviously that input is gone. And some rough finish on those teeth. If we get to second gear, that synchro is butted up against those teeth. That synchro is probably almost toast, if not toast already. I don't really see that much damage on the teeth, the engagement teeth, but there is a little burr on them. Yeah, this thing's gonna need a lot of work. And I do see something else. I see a crack on the case right there. That's no good. All right, let me see if I can even get this out of here. Yeah, that thing is stuck, welded on there. I'd also place a bet that the front of the main shaft, I'll show you an example in a second, but if you lose oil or there's a failure and debris gets inside of there, you're going to eat up the tip of your main shaft. And I can kind of see that those needles in there have a little flat side to them, and probably going to need a main shaft, but only one way to find out. There it is. Oh yeah, was I right or was I right? Not sure I can save that one. That's welded on to the main shaft. It's gonna be hard to get this stuff off. If you guys are upgrading to the Pro Street, all I really need from your core is a good case, a good tail housing, and a good main shaft, and a couple small parts that are under the gears, but not necessarily a big deal. But those are the main parts for a good core. I do offer packages that help fix a lot of the common issues and, you know, do a little bit of preventative maintenance. Although some transmissions don't need them, some people want, you know, just to fix what the one issue was. If it was just second gear, just fix the synchro and the slider and call it good. Some people just want to throw everything into them. And that makes more sense to me because it's all the way apart. You know, everything's open, everything's clean. That's a good time to do some preventative maintenance, add some upgrades, instead of just opening it up, fixing one issue when there could be other underlying issues that, you know, I don't see. And just because second gear went out doesn't mean that the other synchros or the other sliders or other parts don't have the same mileage, the same wear as second gear. They all have the same mileage. So just because second gear went out first doesn't mean that third or fourth or first or fifth is right behind them. Gotta clear off my cart here. Just pick something up and we need to unload it. This is actually an option for Chevy Silverado, anti-theft. This is the Chevy's version of cats. Well, just went T5 hunting. Picked me up a T5. I'm hoping that this one is gonna have what I need. So I'm gonna pull it apart real quick. Let's see what we got. I don't wanna say anything, but I think we got a winner here. Looking good to me. Hey, at least it's got the right oil in it. That's a good start. Well, I'll have to go leave that seller a good review because he was not lying. Definitely grinding in second. You can see them engagement teeth are all rounded off. That synchro is done. Yep, you can see we just got no material left on this synchronizer. See if I can, oh, that one's real pitted and eaten up. There we go. That's what a healthy synchro gap looks like. And to compare what I just took off, you see how it's contacting the gear. That's no good. You want a nice healthy gap between the synchro and the gear. Definitely a little bit of roundness on those teeth as well, but not as bad as second. And that synchro as well is it's pretty much done. Little tiny gap there, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna probably trash all these gears. Not worth saving any of this stuff. Well, once I get this case cleaned up and inspect for any cracks, we should be good. I still have to disassemble this main shaft. I'm gonna do that right now. Well, here it is, completely disassembled. And it's looking pretty good, just really dirty. But this thing will clean up, no problem. So when looking at this transmission that came in, could I fix all this? Could I fix the crack in the case? Yes, I could cut it out, I could get it welded, you know, spend time filing it, making it, you know, flat and true again. I could weld the tip of the main shaft, weld that all up. I could have somebody turn it on a lathe and get it back to factory specs. But at that point, all that extra labor, it just doesn't make sense for the customer. It makes more sense to go and find a good used core or find a new case and a new main shaft and start there. This specific T5 was pretty bad. They're not all like this. It really just depends on what failed. And since your transmission doesn't have a window on the side, I really can't tell you what it needs until it's all apart. That's why I just ask that you bring it by so I can go through it, I'll evaluate it. And if it makes sense financially to buy a new one versus rebuilding it, obviously go and buy a new one. I would love the business, but I'm an honest dude. I got a conscience, and I got to give you the best option available. All I ask, you know, in that scenario, if it doesn't make sense, just to be paid for my time for tearing it down, inspecting the parts, building you a repair quote for what it's going to cost to get it back on the road. Obviously, I'm not going to charge you the price of a full rebuild, since that wouldn't be fair at all. I just get this question all the time: how much to rebuild my transmission? And there's your answer. I hope that provides some insight and some information for you guys. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I want you to have a great transmission that's going to last a long time. And look what just showed up. So be on the lookout for a video. I'm gonna put all these parts together, do a nice T5 build video. And last but not least, if you guys enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe. It really helps me a bunch and for the channel. See you guys on the next one.